Hi, Dr. Dorothy.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to Happy Hour.
Welcome. Let me put, okay, I think you can't see the whole of my face. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Looking pretty.
Yep,
Hope you had a lovely week.
I did. The fall is coming.
I know it's coming. I saw people posting on social media. Oh, it's I don't know how many days to fall. And I'm like, stop it. Still summertime. They already have Halloween decorations at the stores. Oh, capitalism.
You have
Anyway,
you have to market.
welcome everyone to Happy Hour where we talk about all the things that makes our life better. Finances,
Money.
money. So if you
Mhm.
missed last week's episode, you can check us out on wherever you listen to your podcast. Because today it's a continuation of what we started last week. And last week we talked about reasons why people are afraid of financial literacy. So today we are going to tackle how we overcame those obstacles. So for start, we have number one, fear of unknown. So Dorothy, how did you overcome?
Before we say how we overcame,
Uh-huh.
we just maybe just list them out again
Oh
or
yeah, sure.
of them.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so last week, the five reasons why people may be afraid of financial literacy. Number one is fear of unknown. Number two, past financial mistakes. I'm sure majority of us have tons of stories to share. Number three, fear of being judged. Number four, lack of confidence. And number five, fear of change. Yeah. So we are going to address using our own, personal stories, how we overcame like number one, fear of unknown. So, Dorothy, how did you overcome your fear of unknown in terms of financial literacy?
I think I compare financial literacy to adult education. And in the sense that for me, it came later, much later in life, almost like the way adult education at times comes for people. But, I know that one can also have adult education as just their only pathway to knowledge. But for me, in the sense that I use this coming to me as adult education is because even age-wise, I was not young when I got to know about it. And uh, s- secondly, there was this bit of I should be knowing. So how come I do not know?
Mm-hmm.
And I compare it with adult education that I come to it more humbled than the way I would compare somebody maybe beginning kindergarten as a young
Mm-hmm.
person. You're open to learning. You're probably not as worried about making mistakes as you are when you're
Mm-hmm.
older. And so that for me to overcome, I had to meet it at a point where it works.
Mm-hmm.
There's something I was taught a long time ago about strategies of education and how people can plan so that whoever is learning can be drawn into whatever material you are learning.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little different with financial literacy in that I came into this space not knowing, but what really broke that fear of unknown is that I trusted the person who brought me to this platform.
Ah, wonderful.
Somebody I'd known for long, and we had discussions. I saw how strategic she was in choosing even what to study and how to plan for her education, and she was very precise about her goals. And she told me, there's something in this thing, Dorothy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to push you, but I just want you to take a listen. All I can tell you is there's something in this thing. So my number one of fear of unknown is the whoever brought me to the platform. I trusted her.
Mm-hmm.
So if she came saying there's something good you can learn from here, and I trusted her, I said, okay, I think I can learn. The second piece is that it came at a point when my life was kind of just moving the same space. You know, times in life you have up, you have down, you have,
Down, yep.
but it was just like
Plateau.
there's nothing, there's
Nothing.
nothing great
There's no
going on.
up, there's no down.
Yeah, I was supposed to travel to Kenya, but there were so many things that didn't make it possible for me to travel. So I've canceled this ticket. I'm here trying to figure out things that are keeping me behind. Regularly, probably I would have be teaching, but you know, school is out, so it's
Mhm.
summertime. So that convergence of somebody I trusted and my life being at a point where I can listen, because you know, at times things can come to you where it's hitting you like ping pong. You really,
True,
yeah,
true.
the concentration would not be there, but it came to me at a reasonably good time that it
Hmm.
was somebody I trusted, and the timing was also at a good point in my life. Not good that things were really great, but good
Hmm.
that what else could I do with my life?
Yeah,
So that
true.
combination made me say, okay, I think I have the time that I can
Hmm.
listen and have time to reflect and ponder over these ideas and take my time,
Hmm.
as opposed to if it was something that was just being added to my life and I was on the move, probably it would have been a little difficult for me to say it's not something that I don't know, but I don't have the time even to pay attention. So
Hmm.
that, well, what about
Oh,
you?
I
Mm,
love that.
mm,
Well, for me, how I overcame my fear of unknown was when I used to work for a cleaning company.
mm,
Like I told you, living from paycheck to paycheck, you're unhappy, you're tired, it's just the same cycle. Like you said, there's no ups, there's no downs, you just plateau. So until one time I got curious to know how much uh cleaning business owners actually make,
mm,
you know. So just I
mhm,
just went online just to see how much do they make. And I realized they do make a lot of money. But me as the employee, nah.
mm, mm,
So that's when I realized there's more out there. And then it triggered my curiosity.
mhm.
Yes. And it just opened my mind to endless possibilities.
True.
Yes.
Till you
So for
imagine things that you can't imagine you're imagining.
yes. So here I was in a bubble,
Mhm,
unhappy,
mm,
barely making ends meet, stressed, extremely unhappy. And then just something triggered me, and I was like, let me go on Google and see how much do these people make?
mhm.
And I was stunned. And from there, that's when I realized there's more out there.
You want to know.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
So
that's
you,
how I overcame my fear of unknown. Because now
mm,
I'm hungry. I want to know what else is out there.
mhm.
Feed me. And then that's how you introduced me to this platform. I was like, yep, tell me more.
I want to know.
I want to know.
The floodgates are already open.
Yes. So for me, that's how I overcame my fear of unknown. So we'll address the second one, which is our past financial mistakes. And
Mhm,
I think we kind of addressed this a little bit last week when
mhm.
I shared the story about credit cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not having a plan, using the credit card, maxing it out because, like I said, you're living from paycheck to paycheck. And then when you pay, you're paying more towards the interest. And then you just feel like this is how life is. There's no way out until an opportunity presented itself whereby I ended up consolidating all of my
Mhm,
credit cards and I was just making one payment. And in 3 years, I can comfortably say that I was debt free. And
yeah.
that felt really good. And
Good.
again, it was
Mm,
through getting, we call them junk mail.
mhm,
So one of those people that help you with your debt. I just received a junk mail. And I was like, let me
mm,
go on Google. Of course, some of the reviews were not so good.
mhm,
So what I decided, I was like, let me focus on the positive.
mhm.
That's another thing. If you
Which,
focus on the negative, you will attract negativity.
mm,
But I decided, let me focus on the ones that have used this platform and
Mhm.
it worked for them.
Mhm.
And I'm glad I did. Yes.
Yep. It's hard. I think it's humbling to accept mistakes.
Yes.
And I think some of the mistakes that I made, financial mistakes, like it's just using sound bites
Mm-hmm.
that don't tell you the full story. And so you get what you get. And I think there's also an assumption that maybe even if you're being given as a sound bite.
That is also very true.
And so taking these sound bites and going back to look for the information, to
Mm-hmm.
get to know more. This, I think, learning just reading for my licensing kind of eased my holding on,
Mm-hmm.
just to appreciate that, whatever is created, these things were created by human beings.
Yeah.
They're not natural like rocks, but even rocks, people have figured out how they've come about. So I'm like, somebody somewhere thought through these things
Mm-hmm.
and created them and make them work.
Yes.
So how do I participate in this economic system where people throw things as sound bites?
Mm-hmm.
People, oh, I have a trust. You know,
I
take
have a,
a debit card, a credit.
yeah.
What do those things mean, and how
Mm-hmm.
do they work, and why would you need to have that and that and the other portfolio? Words that people
Mm-hmm.
throw around, and you're like, what are those?
What
I
are
remember
those?
having a friend who did stocks.
Uh-huh.
She was always talking about portfolios, portfolios.
Like, what are these?
You tell me, the only way you get to know, Dorothy, if you want to know it really bad, go look for the information.
Absolutely.
Go look for the information. Nobody's
Mm-hmm.
going to bring it to you. She said, I'm self-educated. But, you know, by the time she was telling me this, of course, I'm also in school. So I'm saying, yeah, maybe sometime I'll read. And I recall one time somebody actually sent me books to read.
Mm-hmm.
But I still kind of felt intimidated.
Yes. Yes. And
I
especially
got,
the reading part, we tend to miss out in the self-education part of it. And doing this business that we are doing made me realize that self-education is very, very vital, depending on what you're looking for in life.
yeah. But the interesting thing also, you can get information that you step back and say, so which is which?
Yes, that
And then,
too.
once you've made a mistake, you can also be so fearful. I have a sister
Yes,
who says, you win some and you lose some, and if you don't risk, then you'll never make a move.
that is very true. And you
And
will
then,
never grow.
yeah.
Yep,
But most of us tend to be so risk averse. You're like, oh no,
and
what do we
very
make a
rigid.
mistake? Yeah,
Hmm.
but at times, just like children, how do they learn how to walk? They fall and they get up.
Yes,
They are near the ground, so gravity doesn't push them back.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So going hand in hand, the third one is a fear of being judged. Oh my, where do we even begin?
I
I'll
like
go. You want to go first?
You can go, you can go.
Okay.
I just wanted to make this quick observation at times when I tell students, why do you think people are so cautious about things in life and things like that?
Hmm.
And they're like, I say, because people are in the business of judging.
Hmm.
And
Yes,
they're like, I don't think I judge. I say, oh, we all do.
we all do. We all do.
All do.
We all do. And for me, my biggest fear that leads to, fear of being judged is finance is very broad.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear finance, you tense up a little bit
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because people will ask you your credentials, background, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then for somebody like me who's a small business owner, self-employed, and then here I am talking about finance, somebody's looking at you like, what? Huh? What are people going to say? Will they ask me, do I have degree? Do I have masters? How long have I been doing this? Like, do I have proof that what I'm talking about works? And how I overcame the fear of being judged, I always quote, there's a song by Chris Brown.
Mm.
whereby some of the lyrics he says, I don't see how you can hate from outside of the club. You can't
Mm.
even get in. Meaning, I am inside,
And the other people are out,
outside.
and
So
they're like,
how
that's
can you
not a
judge?
good place.
Exactly. So I always remember those lyrics from Chris Brown.
Oh, wow,
That's how I overcame
that's a
fear of
good
being
one.
judged. So I'd
That,
rather be judged by people who are inside the business and they know what they're talking about. So they'll give me their insights, their information, like our mentor Beatrice. But if you're outside, I'll take your input with a grain of salt, if that makes sense. I'm not being disrespectful,
mhm, mhm.
but you get what I'm
But
saying?
it's part of it.
Yes. So that's
It's
how
part of
I overcome
it's
fear of
part of the deal.
this. And then lastly, before I let you have your input,
Mm.
is also that saying of and it comes from Luo,
Mm.
whereby the one who wears the shoes know where the shoes
Pinch.
pinch. Yes. So that also has helped me because I know my journey, I know what I've been through.
Mhm.
So if you see me doing this, I know why I'm doing it.
You're doing it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What about you?
For me, I think because it is something that I started doing after I already, just as you're saying, you have your cleaning business. I have a line. I'm known as somebody who's teaching, and then now you're teaching, and now you're doing this.
Mhm.
And so, is it up? Is it down? Some people are like
Mhm.
sarcastically, You must be making a lot of money." Uh, in in a way, kind of to put it down, kind of.
Mhm.
And in this era of open learning, you'd still find that the people still judge according to, is it an Ivy League knowledge? Is it a, like, come
Mhm.
on, it is useful information.
Yep.
It requires commitment,
Mhm.
just like I committed to going to school and doing my exams and what have you. It's
Absolutely.
and the goals setting, it's a real deal.
Mhm.
So if you're going to think it's less than, you know, I was looking at Chimamanda, somebody sent me a little clip where she's saying that when you mature, when you're older, but how she's talking in reference to women,
Mhm.
and you'll forgive my language, she said, you can look in your bag of facts to give, and you realize there's no more fact to
There's
give.
no more. Absolutely.
Don't give a damn. I
Yep.
just want to do whatever I signed up to do, share the information.
Mhm.
If it works well for you, like the Jesus parable, so good. If it doesn't, so be it.
Yep. And also to add to what you said, you being a teacher, a professor, sorry,
Mhm.
and then you're doing financial literacy, they make it seem like you can't walk and chew gum.
Mhm.
Like you have to stick to one thing.
Mhm.
No,
You
no.
can. You can do a lot.
You can do a lot.
As long as you put your mind to it. And
Yes.
some of it, I mean, you also thank God. For me, I thank God for age too. Just like
Mm,
Amanda says, at times age makes you
yeah,
go, "Oh,"
that is
and
very
move
true.
on. But if you're young, it can be tricky.
Yeah, like for me right now that I'm in my 30s, it's true. When I was in my 20s, I used to be a people pleaser and I would want to hear what people have to say about me before what
Mm.
I say about me.
Mhm.
But nowadays it's more of what do I say about me? What you say about me? Maybe. Meh. But it's true,
And
it
if
comes with
you know,
age.
and if you know the truth and what you're getting in it,
Yeah.
let people build their stories.
Oh, yes. That is sometimes have you ever heard of stories about yourself that it's so untrue that you get intrigued, like, oh, let me hear more. What else did I do?
Mm. It's true. It's true.
I've had stories about myself that I'm like, whoa, I did that?
And I've learned with age too that, there are a lot of myths that people throw out there and they sounded true
Hmm.
until you check on them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, hey.
To each their own. And then number four is lack of confidence. How did you overcome lack of confidence? I can go fast in the sense that in the beginning it was so new to me and I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of timid and I was scared to talk to people, which is true. Looking back, it's true because I did not know all the information that I know now.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have the confidence because people would ask me questions and I'm like, I'm not sure. I'll get back to you, Yeah. And that in itself, looking back, I may have lost some customers, which is okay because
Mm-hmm.
through that I ended up learning
Yeah.
because who I was before I joined the business and right now is totally different. I'm glad that I'm in a space where I can answer people's questions when it comes to financial literacy. What is this? How do I go about this? Numbers, you name it. Yeah. But yeah, in the beginning, I will say I was not confident at all.
You can't be because you hear it for the first time. There's certain things that are fascinating about what you hear, and then you read and you kind of get the information, you do the testing, then you come and test the waters. You want to have conversation about these things. It takes time to build confidence and finances. I think what makes it intimidating is that you want to interact with people and the people can be so defensive.
Very.
And that can make you go, wow, is it me? Could I have
Mm.
done something that is not, um, is showing that I do not know what I'm talking about. But what I like is the process of learning and the partnership with the team.
Yes.
Like somebody saying, hey, you know, you're just a baby, you're just beginning in this field.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely you cannot tackle certain questions.
Mm-hmm.
And if you tell somebody, I'll consult my trainer, and they take it that it's because
You don't
you
know what you're
don't
talking
know what they're
about.
talking about, so be it. But there are people who've been so gracious. I just say, hey,
Yes.
this is my trainer, because I've benefited and I want you to be able to make the best decision out of the information I share. Here's the
Mm-hmm.
information. So confidence is built with scaffolding. When people
Yes.
build houses, don't they put those metal things to hold it in place
Mm-hmm.
until it's strong, and then the same. We
The
come into the
same.
field, we meet people who've been there in a longer time. They hold us, hold our hands, walk with us until we reach a point where you can
Absolutely.
do it. So the partnership also allows you to be able to build that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It's freaked out to teach. My first teaching in high school, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I was scared. But you have people who they'll observe what you're doing and then they tell you this is what you can do, this is what you can do, this is you're
Yes.
wonderful at this place, and gradually you
Mm-hmm.
get confident. So we are not like animals who are born and they're walking. We are really true human beings. We take a long time
Mm-hmm.
to gradually grow into people who can do things on their own. And I like this platform for that, that there's partnership, that you're
Mm-hmm.
not left on your own to try and just figure it out on your own. Nope. You can't
Yeah.
be in the deep end when you can barely do it on the shallow end. So I'm glad that it's gradual.
Yeah, I love what you said, the whole partnership thing. It's very real in this
Yeah.
platform.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it also helps boost your confidence.
Yeah.
Because like we said, in the beginning, I did not have the confidence because I wasn't sure what I was talking about.
Mhm.
But through the mentors, the leadership, the partnership, it has really helped us to get to where we're at right now. So last but not least, we have fear of change.
Whoa.
Change is inevitable. We fear it, but it's inevitable. I'm a firm believer that
Mm.
change is a beautiful thing. Granted, it's scary. Anybody that says that change is,
Mm-hmm.
all unicorns and stuff, no, change is scary, but it's a beautiful thing. Once you overcome or you cross over the change, because now looking back, if I was just stuck at the cleaning business
Mm.
and where I'm at right now, I'm happy for the change because now I have more freedom, I have more time, and I would never trade that for anything. Granted, in the beginning, I was afraid because back to living from paycheck to paycheck and the money is not even enough. That check does not come in, you're stranded. And then now, looking back, I'm glad I overcame that fear because of that little voice. You know
Yeah.
how they say you have that little voice inside you that
Small
tells
voice
you,
that says,
what
hey,
if there's more out there?
I know, I know.
What if there's more out there? What do you think?
For me, there's a question that we talked about the first time we had a conversation about why people are afraid of financial literacy. And the question of where do you see yourself
Hmm.
in 5 years' time, 10
Yes, that
years' time?
question. Hmm.
That's asking for change.
Yes.
But we've been socialized that in certain careers, you can articulate that.
Hmm.
In terms of production, for that company,
Mm. Yes.
what you're going to produce for them.
Yep. Yep. Not for you, for the
Exactly.
company.
And even if you give yourself a rank that you'll be at this rank, that rank has certain production that is pegged to it. And this production is largely for this group.
Hmm.
When they write a report for the department that I'm in, they say, these are the things that have been done by these people.
Hmm.
And these are who these people are.
Hmm.
So we have time. You can begin by this time. I need to go for a break. This time, do this research. So if we can articulate how we can grow in a place and be productive for that place, how come we do not ask ourselves, hey,
What about me?
what plans do you have with your finances?
Hmm.
Will you have enough when you retire?
Yep.
How do you plan to for emergency?
Hmm.
What about end of life? Really real constant questions about your own changes in life.
Yep.
We don't articulate it, but we
Nope.
do articulate there. We even have a vita that we write evidence of those milestones.
Hmm.
But financially, no,
Yeah, but personal finance, nope.
no.
We just know that check comes in, you pay your bills, your
Never ask
mortgage, rent.
myself,
Hmm.
will I live? Will I have enough money to support my life even after I'm done with my work? No. I just
Hmm.
made an assumption that it's catered for.
Yep.
And then you learn, yeah, it's catered for this much.
Hmm.
The rest is upon you.
And
So change is so central that the bold questions of life that we are asked, we always ask pertaining to other things except something
mhm,
that is central about your life.
that is very true.
And we
And
are moving to a world where it doesn't matter where you are.
it doesn't at all. Yeah,
So
fear of change is a real thing. And it reminds me of one of our trainings where this gentleman told us, whenever you have that fear and then you do something that you're afraid to do, after you've done it, go look in the mirror and ask yourself, did you die? Then you
Mhm.
realize, no, I did not. Okay.
I'm still here. It's true. And change, I think we also like for other people to change, but not us.
Not us.
Yeah,
That is
people are
true.
so, coulda, shoulda. You could do this, you should do this.
Hmm.
But to yourself,
Yeah, that is
but
very true.
we should begin with ourselves.
Yeah. So that being said, that will mark the end of this week's episode. And
Mhm.
then next week, we're going to tackle benefits.
Of overcoming fear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and what we've learned in terms of financial literacy. And then we'll build on to that. So we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave us comments. We'll share our social media links